I went to Peru and fell in love with a girl who doesn't speak my language. So I did what everyone would. I built a language learning app. From scratch. In my last video, I arrived in Peru. I stayed for 90 days, came back to Germany, and now I'm already back in Peru and still haven't released a new video. While my pile of video ideas keeps climbing, so does the time each one of them takes. If this trend continues, you can expect my next video in about 2032. Anyways, I had a few video ideas in mind after I released my last one, but they all kinda got sidelined after I started seeing this girl. All mental capacities I had left each day after doing my day job went into thinking about her, and so ensued my next project. Codename GF. It fortunately resulted in a mission success. Honestly, at first I was just looking for friends to hang out with here in the big city, but sometimes things happen, and I'm glad they did. That's why I'm already back here in Lima. But that's not even the project I want to talk about. It was definitely part of the motivation though. The actual project that followed and kept me working over the next few months is lenguia.com. Codename, shit, her family doesn't speak English, hers is basic at best, and my Spanish is even worse. I did want to learn Spanish for a while now anyway. I always dipped in and out of it though. My favorite city I lived in during my now 3 years of traveling is Valencia in Spain. And I was quickly realizing that being able to speak Peru's national language will make the experience so much better. Meeting Mar was the last push I needed to put a lot of time into learning Spanish. Our language barrier is real, but getting better each and every day because we both put in the effort. And you gotta see the positive. This language barrier is the absolute best way to learn a language in the first place, because you get to practice your new language all the time since your native language often won't cut it. And secondly, it's incredibly motivating to actually learn the language. I don't know if you hear this, but there's some kind of parade going on right now while I'm recording. I'm gonna keep going. You simply don't want to take out your phone to translate something. It's annoying and destroys any flow of conversation. And yeah, the language barrier also led to some hilarious situations. For example, wanting to say I'm embarrassed, but you actually say I am pregnant. Or not understanding give me a hug, and instead understanding give me a joke. Yeah.
The Chevy Cruze Eco gets up to 42 miles per gallon.
What? Sam, get your ears cleaned out.
But what did he say?
42 wild Italians.
Huh?
It's a cruise for plus-size individuals. It's a commercial, that's all.
I'm pretty
What?
sure
No.
he said the Chevy Cruze Eco.
Commercial for Eagles? Eagles, no, Eco.
It's the Chevy Cruze Eco gets up to 42 miles per gallon.
Who asked you?
Amazingly fuel-efficient Chevy Cruze Eco.
Turn up the volume.
I started with Duolingo like many people do, which I quickly abandoned because I thought it's definitely not the way to go. I felt like the progression was unbearably slow and there was always context missing. I also tried a bunch of other apps, some of which I still use today, and did some kind of meta-analysis of how we actually learn languages. I stumbled upon the concept of comprehensive input, which later became one of the 3 cornerstones of my own app.
We all acquire language the same way. The reason this is an outrageous thing to say is that these days in education, we're living in an age of individual variation. We're very concerned about how our students are different, not how our students are the same. And now I'm going to share with you the most important thing I have learned about language. Probably the best kept secret in the profession. We acquire language in one way and only one way, when we understand messages. Das ist meine Hand. Verstehen Sie das? Hand? Kopf. Das ist mein Kopf. Verstehen Sie Kopf? Ja? Gut. We call this comprehensible input.
I got part of my comprehensive input from the original Pokemon series, which I watched in Spanish with Spanish subtitles. It's easier to understand than shows made for adults, and hey, nostalgia is a great feeling. Pokemon was a part of me in elementary school. Like all great things, learning from TV should be done in moderation as well. Otherwise, you end up like my best friend Dennis, who came to visit me in Peru. The only Spanish he knew came from Narcos, so it was 90% insults and 10% phrases like
Plata o plomo.
I quickly realized I want something more than the apps that existed, something more personal, more custom to the way I learn, where I define the rate of progression. And like every modern app, it needs the special ingredient: AI. And by that I mean complete dependency on OpenAI's APIs. But no, I'm spreading the risk by being dependent on even more third-party providers. Now, what am I even talking about? What app? And how does it work? There are 3 parts to it, or let's say 3.5, all powered by AI. Let's start with the flashcard module. There are pretty much 2 categories of flashcard tools. First of all, the ones that give you all the cards with 0 customization options or the ability to create your own ones at all. This is not only annoying for someone who likes to do his own stuff, it's also problematic because of regional differences. On Bubble, I got this flashcard, Conejillo de Indias, but in Peru, they just call it cuy. They also eat it, by the way. The other options are tools that let you create your own cards, but this is often very time consuming. To get all senses activated, you want cards with visual and audio information, and examples too. Doing that for all cards yourself with a tool like Anki is quite a pain. Sure, you can download sets that are pre-made with all that you need, but then you're essentially back to case 1. So I tried to find some middle ground. With Langia, you can add flashcards by typing in what you want to have translated or by simply clicking on any word you find on the page. From there, you automatically get a translation, example sentence, image, and audio file. This all happens in the background while you use other features of the site. And if you like, you can also partly edit this information later on. Pretty neat, huh? But that's just the starting point. Oh my god. Pretty neat, huh? Pretty neat, huh? But that's just the starting point. It works by chaining a bunch of API calls to different services, starting with OpenAI's chat completion, DALL-E 3 for the images, and 11 Labs for the audio of the example sentence. The flashcards play a role in all other parts of the app, for example in the translator component. This uses DeepL, the best translating software I know of, and gives you the ability to add flashcards right here from the translator. I believe this can be very helpful, because when you need to translate something, you usually want to learn it to not need a translator next time. For now, you can just add individual words, but I want to make adding whole phrases possible too. Oh, by the way, these yellow words are the ones you already have flashcards for, so just click on them to get reminded once again. Now let's get back to the comprehensive input part. Reading and listening comprehension are essential when acquiring a language. I built a feature called Stories that should help. It generates stories based on your interests and language level and quizzes you at the end to make sure your comprehension works. And since 11 Labs is connected, you can also let the text be read to you in a completely human-sounding voice to enhance your listening comprehension.
Messi versus Ronaldo. La rivalidad entre dos superestrellas.
This, like many other things in the application, is just a beta version of what it could look like in the future. I'm planning on generating visual input too, through images with DALL-E, making stories longer if you like, generating daily stories for you without you needing to do anything, and being able to search and filter for other users' stories. And why? Watch this clip of one of my favorite YouTubers hammering down the point of comprehensive input.
ティムを紹介しよう。ティムは猫じゃなくてカエルじゃなくて人だ。人の体はいろんな部分がある。例えば頭、胸、腕、足がある。Okay, so just listening to me, how much Japanese did you learn from this? Maybe 0%. What if I repeated it or spoke slower? Would you learn more Japanese? Most likely not. Let's try it one more time, but pay attention to the screen. ティムを紹介しよう。ティムは猫じゃなくてカエルじゃなくて人だ。人の体はいろんな部分がある。例えば頭、胸、腕、足がある。虫じゃないから目は6つとかじゃなくて2つがある。腕も2つ、足も2つ、耳も2つがある。How about now? Maybe 10%, 20%, or even just one word. This is the simple difference between acquiring language and not.
There are so many different ways on how to leverage AI in this project, which makes it super fun to work on. My list of AI assistant personalized features is growing day by day. And speaking of AI assistants, at this point you have probably noticed this thing on the right. This chatbot is integrated on the whole page and can give you some templates to get started, but can be used in numerous ways outside of this. It's your GPT-4 powered right-hand man on your language learning journey. You can ask for help if you don't understand parts of a story, get explanations on the difference of words or grammatical concepts, create quizzes targeted at what you want to learn, or just have a conversation to improve your reading and writing skills. As you can imagine, all these API calls and generations cost money, so the final product will definitely not be free. I already have a few ideas in mind though on how to reduce costs. This will be one of the major challenges, and I love thinking about the business strategy and engineering parts alike. You should start making things. It's the best. Really. Este video fue muy difícil para mí hacer y voy a ser honesto que desde mis dos últimos videos he recibido casi cero interés y la verdad me ha tomado una inmensa cantidad de tiempo en realizarlos. Por esa razón yo no estaba realmente emocionado de hacer YouTube por un tiempo. Así que estoy feliz de haber lanzado finalmente este video y estoy deseando que llegue el próximo que ya está planeado. Si te gusta verme creando cosas, deberías ver este video.